Well, speaking of plans gone awry, Tel Aviv's maligned central bus station was supposed to shut down this month. Over the decades, this building has become a notorious scene of crime, drug use, prostitution, an issue that only becomes more pronounced with each passing season. It's a giant, hulking eyesore. Nobody wants it, and many Tel Aviv families breathed a big sigh of relief when government ministers said it would close down for good before Hanukkah began. But like that miracle of oil, the bus station simply will not die. The Tel Aviv officials have agreed now to delay the closure again until the end of 2023. But this on-again, off-again decision on the life expectancy of the building has had a big impact on the neighborhood and also the dozens of stores, shops, and businesses who call the place home. With us now is I-24 News culture correspondent Sami Israel joining us in studio. Just a few weeks ago, you went down there, you investigated, spent a whole day speaking on a tour, speaking with business owners. You know, the government says that it was going to be shut down now. Now it's not going to be shut down. What's going on? What happened?
Yeah, so exactly. So just a few months ago, it was announced that the whole building would be evacuated, shut down, with the primary focus on the public transportation. They wanted to move the public transportation from the central bus station somewhere else, outside of South Tel Aviv. One of the main issues there is that it causes a tremendous amount of pollution. There's been a tremendous amount of noise and air pollution. Actually, there's been a lot of reports about a high incidence of cancer actually in the area as a result of the fumes. So that's one of the many factors in wanting to move the public transportation. The plan that was put in place by the Ministry of Transportation was to move the buses to a plot of land, an abandoned plot of land called Neve Ofer, which is actually even further south of the current central bus station. But it turned out at the last second, after millions of shekels were invested in planning and trying to move everything, move the buses to there and set up everything to make sure that it was a smooth transition from the central bus station down there. It turns out that Neve Ofer, actually this plot of land there that they were going to use, is actually designated as an urban and nature site, and you can't build on much of the land there.
They only knew that last minute? I mean, after millions of taxpayer dollars were spent investing in this plan, all of a sudden they realize they can't move it?
Yes, exactly. Unfortunately, this just came to light very last second, less than a month before the agreement between Nitzpa, which is the management company who runs the central bus station, before the expiration date of that agreement between Nitzpa and the central bus station. And now it's kind of a blame game between the Ministry of Transportation and the Tel Aviv municipality. One is saying that, well, the Transportation Ministry is saying that the municipality didn't let them know that this was, a designated nature site.
There.
Yes, and the municipality is saying that the ministry did not do their due diligence in making sure that this was a place where they could build.
All right, so the blame game goes on, but what about all of the shops and the stores that call this place home? They were told you have to vacate within weeks. Now what?
Yeah. So actually, the central bus station, as you said, it's massively hulking. So it could actually house 1,500 stores. There are about 600 shop owners there, and many of the stores there are privately owned, which has caused a tremendous amount of legal issues between Nitzpa, the management company, and the various shop owners there. So there are tons of stores there, and one very unique place, which is a Yiddish cultural center. I-24 had a chance to speak with the founder of Young Yiddish, which is the name of the cultural center there, shortly before the initial closure that was supposed to close on December 5th. So we can take a listen to him, what he had to say.
We feel that the closure is imminent, and so we need a solution. We need to find one. We need to create one, and this is something that we cannot do by ourselves. Now we really need the public support. We really need the establishment from ministries to municipalities to tackle this problem. This cannot be just our burden. This is a national burden.
All right, so what's going on now? They're allowed to be there. They're not really wanted there. So what's the situation?
Yeah, so shortly after it was announced that they would be closed, there was going to be evacuation, chaos ensued in the station to some extent. No one really knew what was going on. The shop owners are still very much confused about what is going to happen. A tremendous amount of trash was thrown into the corridors and in the hallways of the central bus station, creating even more of kind of a dirty and unwelcoming environment. There were reports that it was actually the management company themselves who were trying to push stores out by pushing their materials into the corridors. It's also been said that they've reduced the amount of cleaning, and they have reduced air conditioning and heating, and they've closed many entrances in an attempt to cut expenses. It's really in even worse place than it was previously, unfortunately.
And it's unclear, really, right? I mean, if 2023, if there'll be another postponement or delay or issue, no one really knows.
Yeah, unfortunately, no one really knows what's going to happen. There are reports that it might be moved to a bus station might be erected in Holon. There's so many different reports, and it's very unclear how this will turn out in the end.
All right, Sammy Israel with the follow-up on her investigation. Thank you so much, Sammy, for the update. Great to have you.
Thank you so much.